you know, why not take a look at yourself and try to recognize that there's potential within you, and that if you set a goal, if you take a card, write something on it that you want to do, and if you read it every day and do the best you can every day, you're going to achieve it. You know, anytime I start a seminar like this, I always like to start with the balls. And I knew that this worked in a physical sense as I just took a look and stared at it, but I wasn't quite sure how it worked in every other sense. And I know many people that when they get an understanding of how this works, that if you put a little bit into life, you're only going to get a little bit out of life. In other words, if you want to spend a lot of time complaining about what's wrong in life, that's just about the only thing you're ever going to find in your life. If you want to look at the scientific side of things, they'll say that for every action, there is an equal reaction in the opposite direction. If you want to go over to the other side to see what the theologian has to say, or the philosophers, they'll tell you exactly the same thing. They'll say that as ye sow, so shall ye reap. And then there's a way that I kind of like to use it. And it works this way, that the only thing that can flow into your life or mine, whether it be in a financial sense, whether it be in your personal life, whether it be in your family life, one thing is for certain, that the only thing that can flow into your life is based on what's flowing out of your life. What this means, if you put a little bit in, you get a little bit out. But if you put a whole lot in, you get a whole lot out. That's just the way it works. If you wanted to spend a little bit of time trying to find out why this program won't work, I guarantee you, you're going to find it. But there's only one reason you can ever find something wrong with anything, and that's because there must be something right with it. You see, you can't have one without the other. I mean, how would you know a good paycheck if you didn't know a bad paycheck? I mean, you can't have a hot without a cold, you can't have an up without a down, and in without an out. Now folks, everybody here today has the ability to do just one of three things. You have the ability to take anything that you're going to hear. You can take and gather all this information and you can completely reject it. You can do that. Or you can take all the information and you can neglect it. Or you can take the information and you can accept it. Now I'm going to make a suggestion to all of you. Don't accept what you hear. Don't reject what you hear. And please don't neglect what you hear. But you know, folks, only a fool would not take an idea, examine that idea, kick that idea around to see if it will change, see if it will alter, or see if it will improve the end result for a happier, healthier, more productive life. Born Rich is the beginning of an exciting journey you're about to take. And like all journeys, which are properly planned and completely enjoyed, you must have these 4 basic points. You got to work these 4 basic points. See, it's the old idea that there are 2 simple words that we could implement to really get the results we want. The first one is called order. Order. Order is the very first law of creation. And the second word is movement. And when you have order and movement working in your life, what begins to happen is there's a pattern of growth that begins to develop. You see, I think that we try to get here without first covering or bridging the gap of these steps along the way. So if we have the order, and the order is to make a decision that no matter where I am, no matter how well I am doing, I can do better, and I'm going to set an objective to bring about that order. And then we use the movement, which is known as a system, and I believe that Born Rich is a system. I don't believe it, I know it. You only have to believe something till you understand it, then you don't have to believe it anymore. But belief is the fuel to get you off the ground. So the first step, a clear understanding of where the journey begins. A very clear understanding of where the journey begins. Number 2, checkpoints en route to help you stay on course. And as Napoleon Hill said time and time again, he said, you must know what you want, why you want it, when you want it, and an idea on how you're going to get it. You must know what you want, you must know why you want it, you must know, he said, when you want it, And he said you must have an idea on how you're going to get it. Number 3, a clear understanding of your destination. I believe one of the greatest definitions that I've ever heard of success in my life is that success is not a destination, never has been, but it is something called a journey. It is not something you get, it is something you're becoming. It never ends. It's infinite in terms of growth. And number 4, a commitment. But what does the word mean? What does the word mean to you? Well, I'm going to tell you what the word really means. It means a commitment to completion. Folks, you never ever want to forget that. Excellence is simply a commitment to completion. That means completing the things around home. It means completing the things at your work. It means completing the commitments in your personal life. It's a commitment to completion. You will agree a person would be very foolish to tell themselves they are presently in Atlanta, Georgia, and their destination is Dallas. If in fact they were actually in Calgary, Alberta, with Dallas, Texas as their destination. Unbelievable as this may seem, this is the classical error millions of people make philosophically with their lives. They are not completely honest with themselves when it comes to recognizing where they presently are. Where they presently are will clearly indicate 3 points. And this is what this program is about, is these 3 points. Where your journey begins. That's number 1. Number 2, the mental adjustments that must be made. You must regard all adversity. You must regard all circumstance, all conditions in your life. If you could look at it as though it were an investment in which you can attract and learn more about growth in your life. It's an investment only. What a difference we'd find in everything that we do. And number 3, approximate time it will take to complete the journey. The approximate time it will take to complete the journey. Now, before you become immersed in your Born Rich program, form the attitude that this program has been prepared especially for you. It's for you, especially prepared for you. Make a commitment to yourself that you will follow every instruction necessary to alter your old conditioning. Now I want you to think, what is old conditioning? Do you know, any time that you get these buried pain remembrances, these nagging little things that grab us when we're trying to do something, or that tell us we can't do it, why we can't do it, and all these things that are just kind of like grabbing at us, these doubts and worries, that's your conditioning. Any time that you get feedback telling you why you can't do something, if only, folks, you could remember it's not a reflection of your potential or you as a person, but it is a reflection of your conditioning. I'd give anything for a person just to understand that. When you get that old feeling that you can't do something, you can only remember it's a reflection of your conditioning and not a reflection of your potential. Everybody is familiar with the great Bruce Lee, perhaps the greatest martial artist that ever lived. He said, I want you to let this glass of Coke represent your knowledge. This is what you know to be the truth. And he said, I want you to let this clear water represent what is the truth. This is my knowledge. This is what I've learned. And he said, this is what you want from me. So this is what Bruce said. I can't give you my knowledge because, you see, there's too much of yours. However, he said, if you are prepared to let go of yours and make room for mine, then we can work together. But as long as you hold on to this, I can't give you this. Are you prepared to let go of what you've learned? And by that, I don't mean to just cast it aside, but to examine it. And to take a new idea that you will hear in 2 days here, and to examine that idea, entertain that idea, to see if it will change, alter, and or improve the end result for a happier, healthier, more prosperous life. If you're prepared to do that, this program will really, really work for you. Think deep, penetrating thoughts. Ask yourself, what does this mean to me? How can I apply this idea to my life? How can I apply this idea to personal growth and development in my life. Because the simple basic laws of life are create or disintegrate. We're either moving forward or we're going backwards. You eat every day to nourish your body. Look at your Born Rich program as a form of healthy nourishment for your marvelous mind, and use it daily until its use becomes habitual. But you know what? I made a decision. This was my knowledge. This was his. I had to get rid of mine to get his. That's what you're going to have to do.